Today we're going to be making a super fun, super quick, super tasty meal using some Australian beef. It's a Korean bibimbap. It's one to get your kids involved with actually. They're going to really enjoy this. It's a super quick meal, super tasty, lots of fun. So we've got here some pretty lean Aussie beef, Swiss brown mushrooms. We've got some brown rice that I've cooked out. We've got some kale. We've got some finely sliced spring onion, eggs. This is gochujang. It's a fermented chili sauce from Korea. You can find it in any Asian supermarket. A lot of the bigger Woolworths and Coles supermarkets will have it as well. If you can't find that, sriracha is a good option, or any kind of sort of hot chili sauce. We've got bean sprouts, nori, roasted seaweed, red wine vinegar, some sesame oil, carrot, some soy sauce, some fish sauce, and some garlic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and marinate up that beef. A little bit of soy sauce in there. I'm probably putting 1 tablespoon to half a kilo of beef, and this will happily feed 4 people. A little splash of fish sauce. It's pretty strong flavour, so just a tiny splash is all you need of that. We're going to finely mince some garlic up. There's 1 clove going in there. A little bit of sesame oil. Again, just a splash, so I'm probably putting a teaspoon in there. Then we've got some Szechuan pepper. Don't be tempted to use normal black pepper. If you can get hold of Szechuan pepper, I thoroughly recommend you make that effort. And that's us done. Mix all that together. There's enough salt in the soy sauce that we don't need to add any more salt in there. Massage everything in together. And then we want to pop that in the fridge for about half an hour, just to marinate and let those flavours come together. Okay, now our beef's marinating away in the fridge. We're going to get the sauce ready. So for that, we're going to use the gochujang, which is not too spicy. So if you're happy with spice, then I'd be using sort of about 2 tablespoons worth in there. Then we're going to add some toasted sesame seeds, apple cider vinegar, some sesame oil, mix all that together, and then we may just need to add a little bit of water to let that sauce out a little bit. Now if you're a big fan of chili, and I'm in this category, I'd be adding a little bit more chili to that. So here we're just going to add another pinch of chili, and that's our sauce done. So we're just going to thinly slice these mushrooms. We're going to take some of this kale off the stalk. Good tip for taking kale off the stalk, just hold it at the stalky end and run your finger up. We're just going to peel our carrot, and then we're going to use one of these. It's a julienne peeler. So these are a really useful tool in the kitchen. There's so many gadgets you can buy in kitchens. Not many of them are very useful, but this one, particularly useful. And all we're doing is running that peeler the full length of the carrot. And we get these beautiful, perfect ribbons of carrot. Bean sprouts. Just need a few of those. All right, so now we've got our veggies prepped. We're just going to be sauteing off those vegetables quickly in a really hot wok. These flat bottom woks are brilliant on induction or on electric cooktops. If you've got gas, then you can use one of those old school classic rounded woks. First we're going to throw in our mushrooms, a little bit of salt. We don't need to cook those right out. All we're looking to do is soften them up, get a little bit of caramelisation in there, and then they're going to go into our tray. Try and keep your vegetables separate here, because what we're going to do when we plate them is create a bit of a fun experience for people when they eat this meal. So again, kale goes in. We're going to add a little bit of sesame oil with the kale. So you want that wok really nice and hot. And again, just leaving that kale nice and vibrant, nice and green, a little bit of crunch into our tray and in with our carrots. Now, because we use that julienne peeler, the carrots are super thin. They're going to cook really nice and quickly in that hot wok. Beautiful. And last of the vegetables, we got our bean sprouts there. And then the last thing we've got to cook off is that beef that's been marinating. So we'll take that out of the fridge. And you want to keep this beef moving around as soon as it hits the pan. Super hot in there. We're just going to cook this really quickly with that marinade. Break up those larger chunks into small pieces of mince. So we want a nice hot wok so that that meat sautés rather than stewing. As the moisture starts to come out of it, it'll If the temperature's too low, it'll boil and steam in that meat. We want it to saute nicely in the oil. Meanwhile, we can get some of our garnish ready. So we're just going to garnish this with a little bit of finely sliced seaweed nori. Kind of sushi roll sheets. Most people have got them in their pantry. So if you just roll that up, it's much easier to slice it into super thin slices, which add that nice little bit of salt, a little bit of umami flavour over the end of our dish. So we're just going to add a little bit of brown sugar at the end of that cooking, just to give that meat a nice caramelisation and balance out the flavour of all those beautiful crunchy fresh vegetables. Brown sugar is a beautiful choice here because it has that really deep flavour that's going to work well with the chilli and with the sesame oil. Alright, so now that beef's cooked out, super quick, all the liquid's gone, we'll just put that into our bowl. Right, so the last step for this meal, we're going to be frying an egg. We're going to fry it off in a little bit of butter, and that's going to work really nicely with that sauce. So just same pan, all those flavours in there are just going to help add layers of flavour and depth to the dish. Just crack an egg in. Alright, that's everything done. I think that was probably 15 minutes from start to finish. We're just going to pop the rice in the bowl. Then we've got our beautiful marinated Korean style beef mince. And then our vegetables. So we just arrange these, make everything look nice and colourful. So then we're just going to finish that off with our beautiful egg, soft yolk, all that butter and flavour in there. And then we'll garnish it up. So a little bit of that finely sliced spring onion, some of the nori. So then we'll finish up with that beautiful chili sauce that we made earlier, that nori sheets, a little bit of finely sliced spring onion, and some toasted sesame seeds. Now your guests are going to sit at the table, mix all that up themselves, and have a beautiful chili, beef, and vegetable Korean bibimbap. Enjoy, guys.